I'm going to be the first individual to ever say this. If I had to be reincarnated or a reincarnation of some spirit, trust me, the top of the list of who I would be reincarnated, Sheikhy Chic today used to be, would be Harriet motherfucking Tubman. Harriet Tubman. Yeah. Whatever you are, your world is yours. Consider the vibrations raised every time I decide to utter a vibration, shake a vibration, put forth a vibration into motion into this universe. Every time. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I'm about to break it down. Before I even started doing these vlogs in this fashion, I was doing vlogs in the fashion anyway. And I told y'all a while ago about Harriet Tubman. So for these individuals who may not have a concept of who Harriet Tubman is, one, use Google, motherfucker. Two, let me break it down right here, right now. Harriet Tubman was a enslaved African-American woman back in the days, 1800s or something like that, who got herself to freedom as a woman in those times. Runaway slave made it to freedom and established the Underground Railroad. The Underground Railroad, Google that, and went back and forth freeing slaves after slaves after slaves. Harriet Tubman as a woman had more nuts than a lot of you bitch-ass motherfuckers in 2023, and had a lot more nuts, guts, heart, and spine and mind than a lot of you broads back in them days when it was real life physical slavery, pressed into servitude, real gutter shit, real raw, real just that earth shit, you feel me? Whatever you are, your world is yours. So if I had to be anybody reincarnated, my top three would definitely be Harriet Tubman. Now let me tell you why. Because in today's day and age, you got to recognize slavery is no longer on the body. Slavery is no longer on the chains and the wrist and making you pressed into labor, pressed servitude, right? Nah, you're free as a motherfucker to move how you want to move, think how you want to think. And you got to realize the slavery is in the mind, right? So now I'm taking y'all to a deeper level of YWY. Slavery is in the mind. Some of y'all don't even know y'all are slaves. And then we can now make these analogies and recognize that back in the days where people were physically enslaved, they were so mentally enslaved that they didn't even know that they were slaves, dog. There was legitimate slaves on the plantation who thought it was regular clockwork, normal status quo of life for them to just be on them fields, working and 𝙎𝙏𝙬𝙀𝙀 and eating chitlins and fucking banjo kazooie motherfuckers. Yeah, bro. And then there was the rare few, the very rare few, who had a certain degree of awareness, a certain degree of identity, a certain degree of soul, a certain degree of intelligence, who could actually perceive that, one, they were in bondage, they were being oppressed, and two, that freedom was a possibility for them. YWY, your world is yours. I'm a mental slave freer. I'm a mental liberator. I'm a person who frees mental slaves because I've achieved mental freedom. Not only mental freedom, but spiritual freedom, soul freedom. And once you get to this level, you recognize many people simply, even the whites of the times of actual slavery before the Civil War, you should just think, oh yeah, it's just normal slavery. Black people slaves. It's just normal. That's just what it is. Like, without question, and the word is hegemony. I'm different. I'm a different level. I play with y'all a lot. But this is to get y'all to recognize one thing. I'm on a different level. Now check it out. A lot of people who are slaves, actual physical slaves, to be free of slavery, or to pursue freedom, you have to believe that it's possible for yourself. Today's day and age, Sheikhy, running this YWY situation, trying to free as many mental slaves as possible, you, on the other side of this camera, have to recognize that, one, you are a slave. If you don't know that you're a slave, then you think you're free. And even though you think you're free, you're still a slave. And then that's the reality. So one, just like Socrates once said, one must establish that they do not know in order to then begin to know. One must first recognize that they are a slave so that they can enjoy the pursuits of freedom. But if you think you know everything, then you won't be able to know anything. And if you think that you're free when you're really a slave, then you won't be able to be free. So it dawned on me as 2023 Harriet Tubman personified, I'm personifying, that virtue, that value set, her philosophy, her dignity. And it dawned on me that it's no longer my responsibility to argue with, go back and forth with, or invest emotional energy with. Because as the master's teacher becomes a master teacher, they realize that it is very foolish for the master teacher to even assume that everybody will be able to rise to higher awarenesses. It's very foolish for Harriet Tubman to go back and assume that all slaves will be freeable. It's not possible. Wisdom already is a very rare commodity. It's a small population. Those who believe they can be free, very small population. So now it's in the order of intelligence from the master teacher, or from the liberator of mentality, or liberator of reality, the slave-freeing individual, to understand that it's very, very unintelligent to go back and forth with people who do not even realize they are slaves, nor do they realize that they can be free. You need to understand that the prerequisite to ascension, the prerequisite to existential elevation, the prerequisite to success, the prerequisite to any becoming, the prerequisite to freedom is believing that you can even be free, believing that you could even succeed. A lot of y'all just don't believe that y'all can do that. Y'all don't even believe that for yourselves. So I used to be on some, I gotta save everybody shit. Now I'm on I can only save those who can be saved. And those who can be saved are the ones who realize that they must do a lot of the saving themselves, of themselves, from themselves. YWY, your world is yours. Think Harriet came back in a wagon and just told motherfuckers hop in the back? Nah. They was moving on foot, through forests, through cold, through heat. Dogs on them, in the marshes, in the swamps. Laying low, don't breathe, stay still. Yeah. Are you really able to take that type of journey without losing your mind? You think Harriet, go back to the video, it's there. It's 3 years ago or so. I'll put it out. You think Harriet ain't have that 𝙎𝙚𝙊𝙆𝙆 on her where she's like, oh shit, this motherfucker's tripping. Pow. Gotta go. Why? Because you compromising the mission because you in your fucking feelings. Right. YWY, your world is yours. Some of us ain't playing about our freedom, you dig? Freedom is our only fucking option. It's get free or y'all niggas gonna find me by the bayou because they caught me. You know what I'm saying? YWY, your world is yours. But today is such a beautiful time because it's no longer about racial segregation or anything. You're gonna find individuals who are still blinded by that mental framework. But to be honest, it don't matter if you black, white, Chinese, Asian. It don't matter where you from on the earth ethnically. It don't even matter what you identify as. You could be a man, woman, gay, trans. You could be anything in this planet today. And if you understand very basic principles, you can become as successful and free as you want to be. But I tell y'all all the time, everybody out here I want this, I want that. Who are you willing to be? What are you willing to give of yourself to deserve the freedom that you so much want. Motherfuckers out here is on the plantation shucking and jiving, looking at a motherfucker who really believes that they could be free, and realizing that a motherfucker made it to freedom. And not only did I make it to freedom, I'm consistently coming back and availing myself to give people the pathways to mental freedom. So when y'all ask me, how am I so certain? How am I so sure? The question is, how are you so sure of yourself in the face of the facts that you have more friction, more stress, more tension building up in your life, more conflict, internal and external, with your environment, building up in your existence. Your existence is not as seamless as it needs to be, or nor is it as you want to be. How are you so certain that you aren't the one who's incorrect when the evidence is really in front of your face? We went from the park, now we in the sky. We went from being addicted, that's slavery. We went from being out of shape, that's slavery. You're physically incapable in a lot of things. It's limit. Slavery is limit. So start again. We went from being addicted, out of shape, with fake ass information, believing some bullshit, like most people are still believing some bullshit, and broke, to being sober, free. In shape, fit, free. Physically, yeah. It matters. Sober, fit, enlightened, proper wisdom, accurate knowledge, sound, accurate information. Yeah, and it works. Evidence, self-evident. Yeah, and getting money. Yeah. These are the pillars of prosperity. Shouts out to Mark, man. Listen, it don't matter if you white, black, or anything, but you got to be able to comprehend the shit that we talking about to even be able to step in the room. You got to be able to believe you could be free before you could even start your journey to freedom. Whatever you out your world is yours. You think I'm going to go back and forth with a dummy on the plantation? Oh, shut the fuck up. Fuck, I'm not wasting time with you. Got shit to do. We got places to be. We got freedom to experience, dummy. You get the invitation one time, okay, you missed a boat, sit back on the plantation getting your ass whooped for fucking chitlins and some rum every night, you dumb bitch. You ain't getting no bread. You think because you got a little guitar or something, or you can fuck around and you free? You ain't free, nigga. Recognize whatever you are. If I could be anybody, because I don't really fuck with the past life or the reincarnation. I just believe that's another way. People believe in procrastination and shit. You know, fuck around. I don't really want to come back to Earth anyway. You know, so, you know, if I had to be anybody reincarnated, you know, here today as I used to be, I'd put Harriet Tubman at the top of my list. Shouts out to Sheikhy Chic. Shouts out to Harriet Tubman. Shouts out to the people who are really living and pursuing freedom. It's 2023. The slavery is all up here. Whatever you are, your world is yours. And the worst part about it is that people have been given free reign to put on their own chains and believe that putting on their own chains by choice is freedom. You dumb fuck. You just limited your damn self. Whatever you are, your world is yours. You think that by smoking, drinking, I do what I want. Yeah, you limit yourself all you want. I'm doing my best to help. The books is out. The program is available. Soon, not so later, it's going to be even more of a distance. Get your chance now to interact with Sheikhy Chic. Get the wisdom, get the blueprint, get the knowledge, and liberate your mind and your soul before you go. Whatever you are, consider vibrations raised. Evolution, only solution. Self-mastery, only success. Collect all these rare messages. To all my people out there, collect all these rare messages.